Apollo 11 was the first manned mission to land on the moon, with Neil Armstrong becoming the first human to set foot on the lunar surface. His iconic quote remains that one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Moon landing missions continued to be carried out for scientific research purposes and ended with the Apollo 17 mission. The Apollo 18, 19, and 20 missions has been planned but were cancelled due to lack of funds and minimal public support. At least, this is what is officially recorded. However, in 2007, a retired astronaut revealed what should have been kept secret. He claimed that the mission for Apollo 18, 19, and 20 were not cancelled and were still carried out as planned, but were classified as a top secret. The reason for this mission is highly classified because of something they found on the moon. It's not just what they found on the moon, but who they found there. In 1971, the Soviet Academy of Sciences contacted American President Richard Nixon with a proposal. The Russians had images of the ship taken from the surface. They also had images of what it looked like a city, but they didn't have technology to visit the site. But the Americans did. After the success of the Apollo-Soyuz, which was the first US-USSR joint space mission, the Soviets proposed another mission. Cosmonaut Alexei Leonov, commander of the Soyuz, would accompany two American astronauts to the alien crash site. Then, on August 16, 1976, in the dead of night, a Saturn V rocket took to the sky and embarked the most important and most secret space mission in history. 3 days later, on August 19th, at about 10:30 in the morning, the Apollo 20 crew entered the lunar orbit. Then the crew informed the secondary objective for this mission: track down and find what happened to Apollo 19. United States sent Apollo 19 to explore the wreckage a few months earlier, but the mission failed. Only the Apollo 19 crew and the most senior people at NASA know about this mission. The launch and transit to the moon went fine, but ground control lost radio contact when Apollo 19 got to the far side of the moon. Rutledge and his crew instructed to check a specific storage compartment in the landing module. This compartment typically held tools and containers for bringing moon rocks and soil samples. But this time, the storage compartment had guns. Rutledge and Leonov sat in silence as the moon rover closed the distance between the landing site and the alien ship. The hull of the ship first appeared over the moon horizon, looking like another hill. When they finally in the shadow of the craft, it was hard to tell how big it really was. Unsure of the ground underneath, they decided to park the rover far from the craft and travel the rest of the way on foot. The closer they got to the ship, the quieter they got. It was massive. The ship was 300 feet high, the length of the football field, and as high as 30-story building, and just as wide the length of the ship seems to go on forever. The first thing they noticed was how old the ship was, having been on the moon for over a billion years. It almost looked like the part of the landscape. Another indication of the ship's age was that it was pockmarked with ancient meteor impacts. This alien ship has been here since before the Pyramid of Giza was built, before the Sumerian civilization emerged, and probably this ship has been here since before the first dinosaurs walked the earth. In that moment, all of them felt very, very small compared to this ancient alien technology. Compared to this technology, our species was still rubbing sticks together to make fire. The exterior of ships was covered with impacts, strange shapes, and marking, but the interior wall was perfectly smooth. Over the radio, they were instructed to grab samples, but all they can get was a little dirt from the ground. NASA want piece of the ship's wall or equipment for analysis, but their hammer and chisels couldn't even scratch it. Rutledge and Leonov follow a path that led them to an upper floor, down a wide hall into a large chamber. They finally saw something that even though they expected, it still surprised them. It's signs of life. In the darkness, walls seemed to move. In the larger part of the ship, the walls were perfectly smooth, but here, moonlight was being scattered in all directions by a rough surface. When Rutledge and Leonov got closer, they saw what it appeared to be plants and vegetation. Dried purple vines 100 feet tall lined the walls. Even though there was no sound in space, Rutledge's mind couldn't help but fill the silence with the rustling of a breeze through trees. On a calm day beneath the plants were trees that were collecting a thick yellow liquid. Upon closer inspection, it was gold and phosphorescent. Finally, something can be recovered from the alien ship. The men took about 2 liters, what they called golden tears. Rutledge and Leonov retraced their steps out of the ship and headed back to the lunar rover. About halfway through their walk, they realized there were a parallel lines. That were tracks in the dust, recent track, made by a lunar rover, but not their lunar rover. The black silhouette of Apollo 19's lunar module loomed on the horizon. It was still connected to its first stage booster, a sign that the astronauts had not left. Rutledge had a glimmer of hope that the crew of Apollo 19 could be alive somewhere in the alien ship. The hatch of the module was slightly open. This meant it was not pressurized. If the astronauts were here, they were not alive. Rutledge and Leonov walked cautiously around the module and inspected it for damage. It looked like it landed it hard. Leonov was already up the ladder and opening match, and he said, there is something, but there is body, but not human." Rutledge and Leonov stood in silence for at least 2 minutes, taking in what they saw, unsure how to proceed. Inside the Apollo 19 lunar module, buckled tightly to a folding metal table, was an alien body that it appeared to be a humanoid female. She was naked, but her body was covered in a waxy substance. Rutledge thought it could be a highly advanced type of pressure suit. The alien female was about 5.5 feet tall. She had 2 arms, 2 legs, like a human, but she had 6 fingers on each hand. On her forehead was a tattoo or design that resembled markings that they saw inside the ship. Her face was decorated with a device that consisted of stalks fixed to her eyelids, cheeks, and mouth. Near the table was an overturned container that had a little bit of the golden tears substance dripping out of it. Rutledge closed the hatch and started to pressurize the module. If they were going to examine the body, they need to remove their helmets. Once the cabin was pressurized, Rutledge and Leonov gingerly removed their helmets. Rutledge expected the air smell like decay, but there was a distinct aroma of almonds. Leona was a biochemist before becoming an astronaut, so she will be helpful. She was on orbit of the other side of the moon, so Rutledge and Leonov had to do the best they could until she came back into range. Rutledge felt for a pulse, but he could not detect one. He put a stethoscope in her chest. It could hear a heartbeat, but he heard what he thought sounded like a whooshing sound, some kind of liquid moving through her body. They determined the alien was neither alive nor dead. She was in some kind of suspended animation. They removed the stalks from her face and Rutledge thought she had a slight smile. From that, they called her Mona Lisa. Rutledge gently examined the alien while Leonov filmed and took a photograph. Finally, Leona back in range. She radioed down, but this time on a private channel, telling that ground control already know about what they found in Apollo 19's cabin and ordered them to bring that humanoid female alien body home. Until now, we don't know where is the authority hide that body. Is that on the Area 51 or in other place that never heard before? Drop your thought in the comment section below and don't forget to subscribe.